Everyone loves to talk about motivation, that spark, that rush of energy, that sudden feeling that today is the day you'll finally get it right. But here's the truth. Motivation is like a matchstick. It lights up fast, burns bright, and then disappears into smoke. Discipline is the candle that keeps burning when the spark is long gone. See, we all wake up on certain mornings when we don't feel like doing anything. When the alarm feels heavier than usual, when the goals we were so excited about yesterday feel distant and tiring today. That's when most people quit, not because they can't do it, but because they've relied too much on feeling motivated. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired, distracted, or uninspired. Discipline says, show up anyway. That's where success starts to separate people. The ones who make it aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the most gifted. They're the ones who keep showing up when no one's watching. The ones who practice when it's boring, who repeat the same moves again and again until it becomes muscle memory. Think about it. Every great athlete, every great leader, every great creator, their foundation isn't motivation, it's discipline. It's the unglamorous hours behind the scenes. The mornings when they showed up tired, the nights they chose to work instead of scroll. Discipline built the consistency that made success possible. Motivation can get you started, but it's discipline that keeps you moving. It's easy to act when the music's loud, when the world is cheering you on. But when the room is silent, when no one's clapping, when the progress feels invisible, discipline becomes your best friend. You want to know what discipline really is? It's the quiet agreement you make with yourself that your goals matter more than your feelings. It's brushing off excuses like dust and doing what needs to be done because your future deserves it. People often say, I'll start when I feel ready. But here's the secret: you'll never feel fully ready. You'll never have the perfect time, the perfect mood, or the perfect setup. Success doesn't come from waiting. It comes from working through the waiting. Discipline doesn't just build consistency. It builds confidence. Every time you do what you said you would, even when you didn't feel like it, you're proving something powerful to yourself. I can trust me. And that's where real growth begins. So the next time you feel unmotivated, don't wait for the spark. Light your own fire. Show up anyway. Because the person who shows up, rain or shine, tired or not, motivated or empty, that's the person success can trust. And when success finally comes, it won't come because you felt like it. It'll come because discipline showed up when motivation didn't. We often underestimate the power of small things. We think success is built on big leaps, the major wins, the lucky breaks, the life-changing moments. But if you look closer, if you really study the people who made it, you'll see it wasn't one big step that got them there. It was 1,000 little ones. And that's what discipline does. It turns those small, almost invisible habits into massive results over time. See, nobody wakes up one day and becomes great. Nobody accidentally stumbles into mastery. It's the quiet, repetitive, almost boring routines that build greatness. Every drop of effort matters, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Discipline teaches you to keep adding those drops day after day until one day you look back and realize you've filled the whole bucket. Let's be honest, doing small things every day doesn't feel exciting. It feels slow. It feels ordinary, but that's the trick. Discipline takes the ordinary and makes it powerful because every small action compounds. Every just 10 minutes more turns into hours. Every I'll do it today, not tomorrow, turns into momentum. Think of it like planting a seed. You water it, care for it, give it sunlight, but for a long time, there's nothing to see. No reward, no sign of progress. But discipline doesn't need proof. It trusts the process. Then one day, the first sprout breaks through the soil, and that's when you realize it was working all along. That's how success grows, slowly, quietly, invisibly. The people who make it are the ones who stay faithful during that quiet stage. When no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when it feels like it's not working, discipline is what connects today's small effort to tomorrow's big victory. It's the reason the runner keeps training when there's no race in sight. It's why the student keeps studying even when no test is coming. It's why the dreamer keeps working after the world says, maybe it's time to give up. You don't see progress every day, but you're building it every day. That's the difference between those who wish and those who win. The wishers wait for signs. The winners keep moving without them. And here's something people forget. Small habits don't just change your life, they change you. They reshape your mindset, they build your discipline muscle. Every time you do a small task, you're reinforcing a bigger truth. I'm the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. Discipline doesn't ask for huge sacrifices. It just asks for small commitments done consistently. Wake up on time, do one more rep, write one more page, take one more step. You won't notice the difference in a day, but in a month, you'll feel it. In a year, you'll see it. In 5 years, the world will notice it. So keep doing the small things. Keep showing up for the habits that seem too simple to matter. Because the truth is, those little things, those tiny acts of discipline, are quietly building a life that one day everyone else will call success. You know that feeling when you're fired up, when motivation hits like a wave. You're ready to take on the world. You're full of energy. And for a while, everything feels possible. That's a great feeling. But here's the thing, it never lasts, it fades, every single time. Motivation is emotional. It's like the weather. It changes with your mood, your energy, your environment. One bad day, one small setback, and that motivation starts to slip away. You wake up the next morning, and that same fire you felt yesterday, it's gone. That's when most people stop. Not because they can't do it, but because they relied too much on a feeling that was never meant to stay. That's why discipline matters more than motivation. Discipline doesn't rely on how you feel. It relies on who you decide to be. It's not about the rush of excitement at the beginning. It's about the quiet decision to keep going after the excitement disappears. When the applause stops, when the room gets quiet, when no one's looking, that's when discipline steps in. It whispers, keep going. It's not loud. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. The truth is, the road to success is filled with long, dull stretches. You'll have days where nothing seems to work, where effort doesn't show results, where quitting seems easier. That's where discipline saves you. It holds you steady when motivation tries to walk out. Think about anyone who's ever achieved something great, an athlete, an artist, a leader. Do you think they felt motivated every single day? No chance. But they had something stronger. They had habits, routines, systems. They didn't wait to best feel ready. They just showed up. And that's what made them unstoppable. Discipline is the bridge between your emotions and your goals. It takes that burst of motivation and turns it into progress. Every single day you choose discipline over mood, you strengthen your future. You can't trust motivation because it's conditional. It depends on your sleep, your stress, your surroundings. But discipline, that's unconditional. It doesn't care if you're tired, frustrated, or uninspired. It just demands one thing: show up and do the work. When you rely only on motivation, success feels like luck. But when you build discipline, success becomes inevitable. Because even when life gets heavy, even when you don't feel like it, you've already trained yourself to move forward. There's a peace that comes with discipline, a quiet confidence. Because you stop asking, will I be able to do it? And start saying, I'll do it no matter what. Motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you finished. It's the difference between trying and achieving, between wishing and winning. So don't chase motivation. Build discipline. When you wake up tired, show up anyway. When it gets hard, stay consistent. Because the truth is, you don't need to feel ready to take action. You need to take action to feel ready. Discipline outlasts inspiration. It outlasts moods. It outlasts everything. And if you can hold on to discipline when the motivation fades, that's when success finally finds you. Character isn't built when everything is easy. It's built in the quiet moments when no one's watching, when the world isn't clapping, when the only person holding you accountable is the one staring back in the mirror. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline doesn't just shape your habits. It shapes you. You see, anyone can work hard when life feels good. Anyone can stay focused when things are going their way. But to discipline shows up when life doesn't. When the results are slow, when progress feels invisible, when temptation to give up whispers in your ear. That's when discipline becomes character. Every time you choose discipline, you make a small deposit into your integrity. You're telling yourself, I keep my word, I do what I say I'll do. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up again and again until your actions speak louder than your intentions. The truth is, people respect discipline because it's rare. It's easy to talk about goals, but much harder to live them out. It's easy to say you'll change, but harder to stick with it when no one's cheering. Discipline separates those who wish from those who walk it out. When you build discipline, you're not just building habits, you're building trust, not with others, but with yourself. And that kind of trust is powerful because when you know you can rely on yourself, you stop doubting your abilities. You start moving with quiet confidence. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. You just move with purpose, with patience, with strength. Discipline has this beautiful way of carving out your best self. It takes away excuses. It strips away laziness. It silences self-doubt. It doesn't ask, "Are you ready?" It simply says, "Let's go." Over time, discipline shapes your identity. You stop saying, "I want to be," and start saying, "I am," because discipline rewires the way you see yourself. You stop being someone who tries and become someone who does. Think about it. The people you admire most aren't just successful, they're grounded. They carry a calm, steady presence. That's the result of discipline. It teaches patience. It builds humility. It reminds you that true strength doesn't shout. It endures. You can't fake discipline. You can't pretend to have it. It's proven in the choices you make when no one's watching. It's the quiet yes to effort and the quiet no to comfort. It's walking away from shortcuts and walking toward what's right, not what's easy. And here's the thing. Discipline doesn't just help you win. It helps you become someone worth being. It builds the kind of character that doesn't crumble under pressure, that doesn't depend on circumstances to stay strong. So when life tests you, when the path feels hard, when the noise gets loud, let discipline remind you who you are. Not someone waiting for the perfect moment, but someone strong enough to create it. Because in the end, success might give you recognition, but discipline gives you something greater. It gives you character. And character, once built, can't be taken away. Dreams are beautiful. They give us hope, direction, and purpose. They make life feel bigger than the moment we're in. But here's the truth. Dreams don't work unless you do. You can picture the life you want, write it down, talk about it, even pray for it. But without discipline, it stays a dream. And dreams without discipline, they fade. So many people have incredible visions. They can see their success in their minds so clearly. They talk about what they want to achieve, who they want to become, where they want to go. But when it's time to put in the work, when it's just time to show up early, stay late, and do the hard, boring, repetitive things, that's where most people stop. Not because the dream isn't real, but because discipline wasn't. Discipline is what gives your dream legs to stand on. It turns ideas into plans and plans into progress. Without it, the dream stays stuck in the someday category, that imaginary place where people store all the things they wish they'd done. Success doesn't ask how big your dream is. It asks how strong your habits are. Because the truth is, discipline is what turns your Hyundai into day one. You can talk about wanting to get fit, start a business, write a book, or change your life. But every dream, no matter how big, comes down to the same question. Will you do the work when it's hard? Will you show up when it's not exciting anymore? Because that's where dreams stop being dreams and start becoming real. Discipline demands sacrifice. It asks you to trade comfort for consistency. It makes you skip shortcuts and stay focused on the process. And that's not easy, but it's worth it. Because every time you choose discipline, you move one step closer to the version of yourself you've been dreaming about. People will tell you to believe in yourself. And yes, belief matters. But belief without discipline is just wishful thinking. Discipline is belief in action. It's saying, I trust myself enough to do the hard things, even when I don't feel like it. And the funny thing is, discipline doesn't take your freedom away. It gives it back to you. Because once you learn to control your actions, your impulses, your time, you stop being ruled by them. You gain control over your life. That's real freedom. The world is full of dreamers, but very few turn those dreams into something solid, something lasting. The difference isn't luck. It isn't talent. It's discipline, the quiet daily commitment to keep going when it's easier to quit. Dreams will inspire you. Discipline will build you. Dreams will motivate you. Discipline will move you. Dreams will start the fire. Discipline will keep it burning. So hold on to your dream, but don't stop there. Back it up with daily effort, consistent work, and quiet determination. Because in the end, your dream doesn't fail for lack of inspiration. It fails for lack of discipline. And if you give your dream the discipline it deserves, one day you won't be talking about what could have been. You'll be living it.